very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society.
You're in violation of secure communication procedures, Condor.
So we just went ahead and fixed the glitch.
There is no America. There is no democracy.
Our fifth objective, a new world order.
There are no nations. There are no languages. There are no Russians. There are no Arabs. There are no third worlds. There is no West.
Right-wing conspiracy.
What do you call it when the assassins accuse the assassin?
A new world order.
Thank you for plugging in to the Stones Unturned podcast.
Well, just a second there, Professor. We fixed the glitch.
I'm your host, Professor Thomas Henry Horan.
He reads everything.
Hello there, you lucky devils. You better bet your bippies he reads everything. I am Professor Thomas Henry Horan, host and executive producer and chief bottle washer of the Stones Unturned podcast. Today, you magnificent bastards get the privilege of watching me record one of these. You got to get hip. You got to be where the kids are today. So I'm going to record a vertical video, for phones, for TikTok and Instagram and stuff. So you get to watch me record this video, which means I'm going to run through it a couple of times. Then when we're done, I'll chat and we'll talk more about some more news. And maybe if one person didn't like the vertical format, but we'll see. If you hate it, I'll come back and we'll talk about the news. So before I forget what I'm mad about, let me get right to it. Let me start recording. Look what's in today's edition of Politico Magazine. Pizzagate, QAnon, and the Epstein list. Why the far right is obsessed with sex trafficking. An expert on conspiracy theories, thank goodness, explains why MAGA figures are embracing the latest twist in the Jeffrey Epstein saga. By Catherine Kim on Politico Magazine, published today, January the 9th, 2024. Well, Ms. Kim, Catherine Kim, take two. Well, let's review some of the reasons why some voters in this country... No. That's a good question. Why are so many people interested in the truth about these media elite pedophile rings? Well, let's take a recent... Let me try one more time. Actually, I'm just going to record this in little bites. I've learned not to try to get the whole thing done in one bite. Okay. Part 1. There we go. Start recording. Well, let's take a look at why so many people are becoming more and more interested in these media elite. How about concerned? Why are so many people becoming more and more concerned about these media elite pedophile rings? Let's start. Maybe it's because, let me try one more time. Why are so many people becoming concerned, gravely concerned, about this growing number of media elites being connected to pedophile rings? Maybe it's because so many people in the media and the elite are being busted for being part of pedophile and child pornography rings. Try that one more time. Because so many media elites have been getting arrested and charged with being part of international child trafficking and child pornography rings. Let's start with the recent example at CNN. Chris Cuomo. Remember Chris Cuomo? Remember when Chris Cuomo... Stop recording. Show recordings. Well, let's take a look at why. part 2. And now for part 3. Start recording. Remember when Chris Cuomo was at CNN pimping his brother? Stop recording and delete that take. Not Mario Cuomo. They're not twins. Hold on a minute. Show recordings. Delete that one. Whoops. Hold on a minute. Delete that one. Put this on the desktop for a minute. There we go. Okay. Try again. Chris Cuomo and I can add in all kinds of effects later. Let's see. It helps knowing people are watching. It does. I do much worse if I'm just alone and no one's watching me. Okay, Chris Cuomo and, oh, for crying out loud. See, these videos have to be less than 140 seconds. Chris Cuomo is the brother of Andrew Cuomo. Okay. Remember when Chris Cuomo, a personality at CNN, was pimping his brother Andrew Cuomo's governorship of New York and potential future presidential campaign? Remember that? Remember when his senior producer John Griffin was arrested, charged, pled guilty, and was convicted of trafficking children, paying their mothers to bring the children to New York City, and then violently sexually assaulting them, and video recording it, and trading it among his pedophile network? Remember that? Remember when James Gordon Meek, an ABC National Security Intelligence consulting producer, was busted, arrested, and convicted and sentenced in a child pornography case? Remember that? Remember when Rolling Stone published a story claiming that Meek was busted because the government was mad that Meek was reporting on confidential intelligence matters and things like that? Remember when that turned out to be a lie? Remember when it turned out he was actually, the FBI raided his house in connection with child pornography? Remember that? I guess not. But those of us who are questioning, we do remember. Remember when Project Veritas, this crazy right-wing news outlet, and I'm not endorsing Project Veritas, remember when they were the first ones to publish the story that another CNN producer who worked for another top left-wing big media news star, Jake Tapper, remember when Jake Tapper's producer Remember when Jake Tapper's producer, Rick Salibi, was busted in connection with child pornography? Remember that? We do. Well, recently, another mainstream content producer worked at both CNN and then became editor-in-chief of The Recount. Slade Somer, what was he recently busted for and charged with? Trafficking, assaulting, and filming child sexual abuse. Trafficking children for sex, sexually abusing children, and filming it for trade with other members of his pedophile network. I guess you don't remember that. I guess you're so busy writing puff pieces for the Clintons at Politico that you didn't have time to notice how many of your colleagues, not just in the mainstream news, but the political news, the left, progressive, leaning New York political news media have been arrested, charged, convicted for their roles in multinational child pornography rings. Remember when Washington, D.C. fixer Mark Zaid, the lawyer, he responded to a tweet about how some of these people in D.C. get security clearances, and remember, he tweeted back, where's that? Sorry, here it is. Let me stop. Show recordings. Part 3. I was on a roll, don't you think? It's not like I mean, I just put this thing together late this morning, early this afternoon. I'm doing great. Are these slides out of order? Oh, here we go. Okay. Remember when Washington, D.C. political and media fixer, attorney Mark Zaid, remember when he tweeted a response to a Remember when Washington, D.C. and New York political and media fixer, attorney Mark Zaid, remember when he bragged on Twitter or on X, I've gotten security clearances for guys who had child porn issues? Is he talking about Meek? Did he get Meek's security clearance approved even though Meek had already had known child porn issues? Well, here's the funny thing. Zaid also tweeted, I love hanging out at Disney World by myself. He called a regulator named Schachman on Meeks' behalf while Siegel was writing up the story. Mark Zaid intervened on James Gordon Meeks' behalf. But you don't remember that. You people don't pay any attention to what goes on in your own industry. You don't belong to any guilds or associations or unions. You don't know each other. You didn't go to the same schools. You don't have the same contacts. You don't run into each other at the same bars. Because this is what I find interesting about this. There are only two possible explanations here. Either there's one massive international child pornography ring which has managed to infiltrate either there's one massive multinational child pornography and child sex trafficking ring which has managed to infiltrate several of its own members into very important positions in the New York news media, not to mention the New York progressive news media, or there are multiple multinational child sex trafficking and child pornography rings, each one of which has infiltrated at least one high-impact media professional into several of the major progressive news media outlets. Which one of these crazy conspiracy theories is true? And these are just the people that we know of. So, if you're wondering why so many of us are concerned about not just rumors, not just innuendo, confessions and convictions among your industry for being involved in multinational child pornography and sex trafficking rings. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask. I'm Professor Thomas Henry Horan, and I'm asking you to bear with me Yeah, I think I'm gonna let it go at that. Okay, now let me do the last piece real quick. I think that's enough material right there. I'm just going to do the closing thing. I'll edit this and let me just do one more. Let me get to the last slide. I need to start watching my thing better. Oh. So I need to record another piece in between. Hold on. I forgot all this stuff about Politico. I forgot about who owns it. Hold on. There's more. There's a little bit more here. Oh, and by the way, Ms. Kim's source for this explanation for why only crazy right-wing deplorable MAGA people are interested in these multinational liberal news media, child pornography, and sex trafficking rings. That expert's name is Mike Rothschild. It's not Rothschild. It's not an English name. The name is Rothschild. Red Shield. He's the expert that she consulted. And sentence number 1. Rothschild pointed to a toxic stew of age-old Semitism. Well, let's hear what this right-wing conspiracy theory expert told Ms. Kim. Sentence number 1. Rothschild pointed to a toxic stew of age-old anti-Semitism. One more time. Well, what kind of advice did this right-wing conspiracy theory expert give Ms. Kim? Rothschild pointed to a toxic stew of age-old anti-Semitism. The very first sentence. Rothschild is dragging anti-Semitism into this accusation that the right wing are insanely obsessed with what these people have been up to. John Griffin, that's not a Jewish name. How is the arrest of John Griffin an anti-Semitic plot? I just don't understand. So, if you have any questions about why people are really worried about what's going on, let's ask Laureen Powell Jobs, the widow of the late, great Steve Jobs. She owns a magazine called The Atlantic. In February of 2022, The Atlantic published an article, The Great Fake Child Sex Trafficking Epidemic, Dispatches from a Moral Panic. Well, why would Steve Jobs' widow stick her neck out and her magazine's neck out to defend you people? Oh, she's best friends with Ghislaine Maxwell. Looks like they're enjoying a nice tropical day on a nice tropical island. If you have any more questions, about why the MAGA deplorables are so concerned about this mounting pile of arrests and other evidence linking lots of media elites to other media elites in child sex trafficking and child pornography rings. So, Ms. Politico and anybody else in the progressive media, if you have any more questions about why so many MAGA deplorables are so concerned with how many stories we're reading. So, Ms. Politico, Ms. Atlantic, and anybody... So, Ms. Politico, Ms. Atlantic, and anybody else who wants to know. One more time. You know what? Part 4. Imagine you're this Imagine you are this accomplished Emmy Award-winning crew of documentary film producers, and you're sitting there hour after hour watching me do this all day, and everybody else in that room, their whole careers are depending on how well I can do this. If you've ever wondered what it's like. So, Ms. Politico, Ms. Atlantic, Ms. Any, or Mr. Any, or whatever, anybody else. So, if anybody else has any questions about why so many MAGA deplorables are so concerned about how many of you media elites are being arrested or otherwise documented to be connected to international child sex trafficking and child pornography rings, you just ask the professor. The professor reads everything. I'm Professor Thomas Henry Horan, asking you to please stay plugged in to the Stones Unturned podcast.
He reads everything.
There. I'm going to edit that down later and show it to the world. If I wasn't having so much fun. Hi, Kevin. You're having trouble watching? Is anybody else having trouble watching this? I can stop and start again, and we'll read the news because there's a lot of it. Let me see who's here. Hi, Kevin. Adam, I'm clearly alive. Well, hey, that was today's headlines, okay? Hi, Creepy Crawl. Hi, Nathan. Hi, Bal. Yes, I will look into that. If I have to start a new stream and go horizontal, I will. If you people need to go horizontal, knock yourselves out. Shaky cam, I hate shaky cam. I hate it. I can't just stare at the screen all the time, Sven. It makes me look like a crazy MAGA deplorable. I have to look at my sources somehow. But thanks. Let me give you some advice. Don't tell people how to do things. Show me. Make a video. Show me how it's done. Thank you very much. And thank you very much. Why do you think they're called magnificent bastards? Not easy, but it's not easy. It's not easy being a fan of this show. It's not easy being a fan of Karen Rogers. It's not easy being a fan of Rosie O'Donnell. It's not easy being a fan of Whitney Houston. Yeah, thanks for all of that, Sven. Please show me samples of your work. Please. And then show me how you did it. It's not that I don't have Adobe Premiere Pro. It's that I don't have time. I spend 40 hours a week putting these episodes together as it is. So what you see is what you can get. Yeah, I know how to do all that crap. It's enormously time-consuming. And no, I'm not hiring somebody to do it for me. I do it this way because it's quick, it's easy, it's cheap. Have you seen Manny's latest videos? He got a good gimbal and whatever. He's getting a hang out of shooting his videos. There's no doubt about that. You're doing fine on the laptop. A smart TV is staying on the loading screen even after I have you up and running. Crown Heights, Brooklyn Synagogue Tunnel? Yeah, who else? Sure, I can do all of those things. I can also sleep a couple of hours a night. A couple of suggestions. I have a couple of suggestions for you. Welcome to live streaming. I can put anything I want here, but I don't, because I don't want to. Now, where was I? Also, you got to understand something that you know nothing about, which is OBS Studio. In order to do this, in order to capture that other screen, everything has to be on the other screen. If I put that on this screen over where I'm looking at you right now, it's so tiny I can't read it. Because I am looking at a teleprompter, but I can't read text off of the teleprompter, okay? So to get this to work the way I have it set up, because you people are not the most important thing, I'm not the most important thing, the videos are not the most important thing, and the live streams are not the most important thing. The most important thing are these PowerPoints. You are paying for the privilege of watching me write an encyclopedia. It's a simulation of a grad school program where I'm the professor, you are the grad students, or those of you, there are 47 of you, there are 47 Ronin, 47 Stone In, and I'm presenting, you're helping me with the research, I'm getting all the credit for it, because that's how it works, and then I'm putting it together and showing you a rough draft, okay? These aren't even like to go to a conference and present a draft of a paper. I'm showing you the rough draft of what I've got put together so far over the last 5 years. The rest of those little, they call them production values. Remember Jackie Treehorn talking about production values? Those things are optional and very expensive add-ons. That's all I'm saying. Who looks like they're watching a ball game? Okay, so enough about that. Is anybody else having trouble seeing me, or can I go ahead and talk about the fucking news? Do you want me to stop and start over? Hi, Sea-Pine. Sea-Pine's just showed up. One person's having trouble watching me on a big screen TV. I don't think you want to see this on a big screen TV anyway. Not like this. This is, remember, Dr. Gene was on small TV screens, okay? I like this pretty well for phones, for watching on phones. In fact, I'm going to pause for a minute and admire myself. In spite of all of the horrible technical deficiencies, I'm still going to enjoy all those little production values. Don't make me sit here and show you my old portfolio. I will show you the life of the mind. I will show you how to produce a video. I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to show you something right now. It's really low def, but I'm going to show you anyway. And you're going to wait while I do this. Because this is going to take a second. I know they're on YouTube. I got them somewhere else. They're low def. They're from way back in the day. I never produced anything for MTV or anything, but I got a lot of artists, like their first contract, their first record deal, their first agent, from videos I made for them. So, my videos... And now, if you'll excuse me, I have to play this video on the other monitor so you can see it. I hope that's not too annoying. This is cool. If you watch these videos on virtual reality, they're 3D. This is a band. It's just a local band, a bunch of producers. I think one of them passed away because... Let me put this over here. Anyway, that's not a big deal. It's cool because if you watch them through with virtual reality headset on YouTube, it automatically makes them 3D because I've got good depth here. Your videos, let's see here. They'll be way older. Go to the end. Where's some good ones? Like this one. Here's a good one. I'm going to get a copyright.
About this. I was researching.
First year, first shot. First year, first shot.
6 foot tall. 6 foot.
Then you hit a fourth shot. Then you hit a fifth shot.
This is my transformation.
Bonafide hustler, making my name.
Just let it all hang out.
Yeah. I'm going to get a copyright thing for that one. Hold on. Let me show you what I've got some videos with like a lot of special effects. Hold on a second. This one I've got a couple that took like a long time. I'm just trying to drag myself through these. This one right here. I don't think I'll get in copyright trouble for this one. This guy's really talented. This guy's really, really talented. I don't know what he's doing. Let's see. Rewind this. There we go. You guys see that? Hold on. You guys can't even see that. Hold on a minute. Could you guys see any of the... Hold on a minute. You guys couldn't see any... I got to record that whole video all over again. Fine. I'm going to stop this stream and I'm going to come back.